The most anticipated earnings releases for the week of August 12, 2024. Presented by Earnings Whispers. We still have a full schedule of earnings releases for the week, but earnings season slows down significantly. By significantly, I mean almost 1,000 fewer companies are reporting this week than last. It has been a good time to be a gold bug, and as gold prices go higher, gold miners make more money. That should help Barrick Gold's earnings when they report Monday morning. But after failing to hold an 18 handle on multiple attempts over the past year, there's probably little reason to buy this stock for anything other than a short-term move until it is able to hold $18. Life just makes sense when Monday.com reports earnings on Monday mornings. And that's what we'll get shortly after Barrick Gold reports. Of course, this is a completely different story and the stock is at a completely different level. But it has a similar chart pattern, but 240 is likely the important line. Late last week, there was a big surge in growth names and that helped Monday.com after the stock nearly filled its gap from last quarter. But nothing has thoroughly been resolved just yet. Speaking of breakouts, Nubank was looking to break out above $12 following a spike in volume. But that breakout failed and the stock sold off to around $10 last week. With that move, sentiment fell to its lowest level on record. Yet, after a few days of rallying back, the stock is right back above $12 ahead of earnings after the close on Tuesday. It might make more sense if sentiment was bearish ahead of Home Depot's earnings Tuesday morning. After all, investors, analysts, economists, and the likes have been calling for the death of the housing market and the related industries for 2 years. But after failing to break down below the 320 level, after missing expectations last quarter, investors have suddenly become the most bullish they've been the stock since the very beginning of 2021. Cisco reports after the close on Wednesday. Back in November, the stock gapped lower on heavy volume after rather ugly results. It spent the next couple of months filling that gap before rolling over again. But most of that volume over the past year has been around $48. And with fundamental trends continuing lower, the stock seems comfortably below this level now. It will take a lot of heavy lifting to get it back above this level. There have been some positive signs that things are starting to bottom. But over the weekend, the company announced new layoffs. So maybe this will be the capitulation investors and traders are looking for. But it doesn't look like the fundamentals are turning higher anytime soon. AST SpaceMobile's IPO was in 2021, and if we were to expand that chart, you would see nothing but red arrows representing negative earnings surprises since its IPO. That is, until last quarter, when the company finally beat expectations, and apparently a lot of people were on the wrong side of that trade. The stock gapped higher on heavy volume after the news, and had another spike in volume as the stock broke out above December highs. Now, the stock is at new highs ahead of earnings. It seems like a year or more now that people have been calling for a bottom in China. Although, really, it seems the China bulls have given up. We are going to get more from the Chinese names in the weeks ahead, so what Alibaba says Thursday morning will likely be an important tell. Either way, the stock likely needs to be above $80 to indicate that a low is in place. Last quarter, Walmart put in a gap and run to new highs following solid results to make that $60 level rather formidable. A pullback to such levels would fill the gap and make for a reasonable entry. But such a level seems unlikely anytime soon with expectations for solid results before the open on Thursday. A sign that earnings season is coming to an end is the limited number of companies reporting on Friday. The only name with much analyst coverage is Flowers Foods. The stock rallied into earnings last quarter, but the company missed estimates and the stock sold off. Now, analysts have cut their estimates to a level that is much more beatable. There are still a number of double-digit moves expected this week, and most of the likely big movers have options priced for a bigger than average move. Looking out for the next month, we see the beginning of September start to get filled in. But the big name that everyone is watching is right in the middle of the monthly calendar, with Nvidia reporting on the 28th.